Now is Dave Dulio, Director of Center for Civic Engagement and Political Science Professor at Oakland University. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm well. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being here. This was already a pretty crazy situation. Now you have this attack on Israel by Hamas, and it seems like we need to get a speaker in place immediately so that some actions can be taken. What is the current situation without a speaker when you have a crisis like this?
Just as you described, Kevin, it is a standstill. The House of Representatives can take no action legislatively on the floor of the chamber until there is a speaker in place. And until that happens, the Congress is pretty much neutered.
And so do you think this will dramatically change the plan that was in place before this attack, or do you think they'll stay on schedule? And could Kevin McCarthy return?
Well, I think that there's renewed urgency right now in not only the Republican conference, but all over Capitol Hill, given the events of the weekend with the attack on Israel by Hamas, and that's just the sort of cherry on top of the sundae, because there, as you both know, we have a clock that's ticking on funding the government, and we've got to get things taken care of on the spending front, and this crisis in the Middle East just adds to the urgency.
Yeah, a right response to crisis is that it unifies people with common interests to kind of overcome this crisis. Kevin McCarthy has had an incredible amount of experience leading delegations to Israel, bipartisan delegations. Is it possible that this changes the scope, that Kevin McCarthy, based on his experience and his willingness and desire maybe to become Speaker of the House again, that he could, in fact, be elected Speaker?
Oh, I think so. I think he clearly has not ruled it out with his speech yesterday and the reaction to that. I think gives him a strong foundation from which to seek this a second time, given his experience with the region, given his experience with the issues that are swirling around Israel and the Gaza Strip. I think it would not be out of the realm of possibility in a couple different ways, right? I mean, the Republican conference could rally around Kevin McCarthy, and certainly Matt Gaetz isn't going to do that, but they could muster the votes theoretically to put McCarthy back in, or Democrats could come over and help, right? In the time of a situation we're in, right? It's not a U.S. crisis, but boy, we need some action. We need some leadership right now.
Yeah.
And we could certainly see, enough Democrats come over, vote with the Republicans, do it for the chamber, do it for the country, and get us out of this standstill.
Yeah. I'm not aware. I mean, I know that there are some Democrats who do not support Israel in this crisis right now, but it's the minority of the Democratic Party. I'm not aware of any Republican who does not support Israel as America's number one ally. Is that the case? And if it is, does it matter which speaker it is? If it's a Steve Scalise, a Jim Jordan, or a Kevin McCarthy, do you think this will be the thing that unites them?
It could. I don't know I'm like you, Tom. I don't know of any Republicans who is who's outside of the mainstream of the party on these issues. But the facts on the ground are, right, we have a few extreme Democrats who are certainly not for Israel. We certainly have some extreme Republicans who are not for Kevin McCarthy. Obviously, two different issues, two different dynamics, but we have reasonable people on both sides that, if they wanted to, they could show some real leadership, some real magnanimity, and come together again for the country, for the chamber, and move things forward. This is a real chance to show that it doesn't base politics, petty politics, partisan politics.
But would the Republican Party look even more chaotic if Kevin McCarthy came back into power as a result of Democrats siding with him? You have Matt Gaetz and 7 other Republicans who voted with Democrats to get rid of McCarthy over spending and the deficit. That has not been addressed yet. And then if you have the Democrats crossing over to vote with Republicans who support McCarthy now to put McCarthy back in place, and you'd still have that one-member rule, right? Someone could call for him to be vacated again.
They can always change the rules on that, and there's been some discussion of that even without McCarthy being the talked about candidate. But and that's a fair point, Kevin. I think, but at the same time, I think the attacks over the weekend changed everything. Right? I mean, it changed certainly the world stage. It changed Israel forever, and I think it's changing American politics, at least to the degree where people are expecting action. And if this is the kind of thing that the American public hates, right? They hate politics for this exact thing, where the parties can't get their stuff together, and we look like fools.
That's true. Listen, we talk about, politically speaking here, just some decisions have to be made because Israel is a larger ally to the United States than Ukraine is. Yet there's been pretty much bipartisan support on the funding of Ukraine. Do we see ourselves, what are the political, elements of this dialogue in allocating more funding for Israel? Could we potentially see a call, and would it be politically expedient to see a call for tens of billions of dollars to support Israel in this fight?
You'll see once the speakership gets sorted out, I think you'll see immediate action on aid for Israel. I'm not sure the form that would take, whether it's monetary aid, military aid, in terms of weapons and tanks and whatever they need. But I think you'll see swift action from the Congress once things are nailed down in the Speaker's office.
Hopefully, it won't be a political sideshow, what's happened here with Hamas and Israel. Hopefully, both parties will come together and attempt to do what's right for Israel.
Yeah, always appreciate you coming on the program. Dave Giulio, director of the Center for Civic Engagement and Political Science professor at Oakland University. Good to talk to you, Dave. Thank you.
Good to talk to you. Thanks, guys.
All right, have a good day. Yeah, this is urgent right now, Kevin, and they think they're going to have a vote by tomorrow, but stabilizing the Congress needs to happen ASAP so we can move forward with our support of this country. All right, we'll take your calls here. Love to hear from you. It's 800-859-0957. That's next at 800-859-0.